pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown here. Happy February the 10th, here in the year of 2024. Guest menu looks like this on today's show. Co-hosting will be for the whole entire show Coach Van Pettaway. He joins me. Also, Southern University's women bowling coach, Coach Barry Doyle, and a student athlete, Jalen Rogers, will join us in hour number one. Hour number two, Coach Terrence Graves, head men's football coach at Southern University. He will join us. And then last but not least, a special guest. And now I was going to just tease it, but football player. Just recently signed with Southern University, Stephon Wright, transferred in from SMU, a Los Angeles, California native. So he'll be joining me at 12:30, 10:30 Pacific Coast time, because he's on the West Coast. That's the guest menu for on today's show. Here's simply what's trending on the Carlos Brown Show. Southern University basketball. Both women and men's basketball teams continue through a tough conference race. We'll talk about last week's ball games, both on the women and the men's side. SWAC baseball predicted order of finish is out. We'll look into that. Some surprising predictions, at least just one that I'll talk about. Also, Southern University football 2024 football signee class is in. We'll get into that as well. Southern University women bowling team, back-to-back champions. We'll get into that as well. And then the SWAC softball predictions. We didn't talk about it last week. We'll get into that as well. So a full plate, a full menu. So let's get started. Bring in co-host for the entire show. That is Coach Van Pettaway, who also doubles as the men's and women basketball analyst for the show. He will join us in. Southern University basketball on the women's side. They went 1-1 last weekend. Tremendous game with Alcorn State that they were able to win. Then the big game last Monday night against Jackson State. Wow. 15-point lead at halftime, up by 17. Jackson State makes a tremendous run, and they come back to defeat Southern University 63-58. You're talking about, and I kind of knew a run or a couple of runs were in store for Jackson State women, but they were able to come back and get it done. Then on the men's side, two tough road games, just like the women's basketball team. They were able to defeat Alcorn State, and also Monday night defeat Jackson State. Thus sets up the Alabama schools for this Saturday and Monday, Alabama A&M this afternoon, and Monday night, Alabama State. Let's see if we can find Coach Pettaway. Good morning to everyone. Coach Pettaway, there you go. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Carlos. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure to have you on for the whole show. Man, basketball. Oh, where do we start? I got to hear what Coach Pettaway has to say, not only about the Southern games, but conference games coming up. And I did pencil in Monday night on the women's side, UAPB hosting Jackson State. Whoa, I got to get the popcorn ready. But Coach, Southern University going on the road on the women's side, we'll start there. Two tough places to win. They defeated Alcorn State, and then JSU game. Oh my goodness, they had them. They had them,
right.
Coach.
Right. I think it was a great weekend for SWAC basketball as a whole. And then, like you said, on the women's side, Your Jaguars were able to go down to Alcorn. They go to the reservation. They come up with a very exciting win. 71. I'm sorry, that's the men's score. Yeah, they come up with a very exciting win. And I just think that when you start looking at matchups, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting down the stretch. I know your fans are a little disappointed that they lost to Jackson State, but you got to think about this now. Alcorn is like a rival too for you all. So they played that
Mm-hmm.
big game on Saturday, and they win that game 61-58. And then they got to turn around and play Jackson State. They come out with a lot of energy. And then, like you say, you got the big lead at halftime, and then you go up by 17 in the second half. But Jackson State has that championship DNA. You can't
Mm-hmm.
overlook that. So they were able to walk them down, and we couldn't do our game because we were trying to keep up with what and
Yeah.
in that game. So uh, that's just par for the course. But I think those two teams, they're gonna see each other again.
Mm-hmm.
I I really think that they're gonna see. When you start looking at on the women's side, you got to look at Jackson State, Southern, Grambling, and Arkansas.
UAPB. Yeah.
You got to look at them. Uh, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to play basketball when you go up against those teams that I just mentioned. And it's just going to be a dogfight to the end. And then we're sitting on pins and needles trying to find out if somebody's going to come up with that formula to beat Jackson State, to just win one game, let
Mm-hmm.
alone dethrone them. Everybody wants to dethrone them, but we got to take first steps first. Somebody's got to put an L in that collar against Jackson State. And right now, Jackson
Mm-hmm.
State, man, they're playing great basketball. That they
Uh-oh.
got
I think we
ball
lost that
club.
Coach Petaway. But you know what? I was going to ask him of the teams. Well, they'll play UAPB Monday night, but Southern University, and I guess because it's a rivalry and coach, the history. Um, the last time that they met, Southern University took down Jackson State. So from it's not an intimidation factor. Southern came out with a lot of energy, a lot, and I knew Jackson State would make a run. Championship teams, they will. Could Southern University sustain it? But all I'm going to say this, and hopefully the blue and gold shades don't come out too much. But I think Southern University women, they're not intimidated by Jackson State, and because it's a rivalry, they're not scared. They're not scared. Maybe I should not. I should rephrase that. No team is scared. But from a competitive standpoint, Southern University welcomes the challenge with Jackson State. Maybe that's better
Right. They
better
don't
said.
fear. That's
Right.
what it is. They don't fear them. They don't fear them. And that's what you want as a coach. You want your team, you respect everybody, but you fear none. And now I think that's what's happening with the Lady Jags. So you all are in a pretty good place. But that matchup against Pine Bluff, we're gonna see early two of the top teams in this league going against each other. And we're looking forward to it, man. That's gonna be a great game on Monday night.
You know, I'm almost tempted to give a prediction on that game. I'll go ahead and do it. UAB UAPB pulls the win out. They're at home. Miss Green. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Gotta go to the chat room. Stop lying, Carlos. It's intimidation. No, no. I wanted to rephrase it. Yeah. Southern and Jackson, they relish the opportunity on the women's side to play each other. How about that? But
Yeah.
UAPB I'm not going to even say an upset. They're going to get the win. Let's see if I'm right. And Coach Petaway, I can't blame Charles Edmond if that prediction doesn't come to fruition. On the men's side, Southern goes into Alcorn.
Yeah.
Traditionally, a tough place. They get it done. But now one of the plots of this basketball game was Teron Joseph. 15 points in the first half. You don't see him in the second half. I've gotten so many questions. What's going on? What is the deal? Den didn't play at all Monday night against Jackson State. One could say, my theory is this: something happened to piss off the coaching staff and the head coach. Just my opinion, just my opinion. But hats off to Southern University. We talk about how tough it is to go on the road for any team. They got it done. And then Monday night, I saw great ball movement against Jackson State. Your leading scorer is out. This is a time that you probably could say, we could be in trouble.
Right.
But they got it done. Team, there's no I in team, it's we. And they got it done. And I'm just going to be so brutally honest with you. It could be tiddlywinks and marbles. If it's Southern Jackson State, I'm happy. I want the victory. I want the victory, Coach Pettaway. But hey, they got it done. And Coach Johnson and that staff and that team, they're getting it done. Now on a 4-game winning streak,
Right.
Southern and Grambling State tied for first. Grambling State owns the tiebreaker if the season would end. Well,
yeah, but it's still early. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. But this is what I think the Jaguar Nation ought to be happy about. You all have so much depth. There are not many teams where the leading scorer doesn't play in a game and they come out with a win. So, to win on the road without Joseph, I think that says a lot. That says a whole lot. 72-63. Jackson State right now is in the free fall. But when it comes to the Jaguars, you all just played a great game, man. I take that game and was able, after our game, I was able to go back and watch it. Coach Johnson got those guys in the right place right now. And what I'm talking about is mentally they're locked in. They're not allowing distractions or anything else to come into play, and that's the sign of a championship team.
And then, one of the things, it's a group of people I kind of talk with, and one of the things they wanted to see at Grambling State, they had a big lead, right? They were able to come back against Alcorn, big lead on Jackson State. The simple term is this: wanted to see if this team could finally finish after having a big lead. And Jackson State made a run, a couple of runs. In basketball, it's going to come. It's going to be a run. Sometimes multiple runs, but they were able to get it done and finish quite simply. And as I stated now, on the 4-game winning streak, you can't take any opponent lightly. Got Alabama A&M today, Alabama State. The Jaguars need to, win the home games and try to get as many road wins as you can. But they're sitting in a nice place, Coach Pettaway, but it's still more basketball to be played.
Right. Well, see, you got Alabama State, who's sitting at third right now, coming in there on Monday. My Bulldogs will be in there this afternoon, but they'll be without their leading scorer, Dalen Smith. So they've got to protect their home court. They got to protect their home court. And if they can do that, we're at the turn. So that puts them in a great spot. But now you got to look at this now. Texas Southern,
next weekend,
team,
right?
Look, another team that has championship DNA. Man, they're hanging right around there. They're tied in that third spot too. So they're coming. So this is going to be an interesting race. I think it'll go down to the last week. On the men's side, it's going to go down to the last week of the season. So you just got to be prepared every time you step on that court. You can't take anybody lightly. That's the big thing. That's what you have to be preaching to your teams. Now, you can't overlook anybody. You got to go one game at a time. You cannot look toward that next opponent. You might want to do that, but you better not, because it could cost you.
Yeah, and the coaches know better. And then, you're dealing with 18 and 21, 22-year-old student athletes. They know better at times too, but then, hey, they may be peeking ahead. But you're absolutely right. And that's where the coaches and the coaching staff come in. come into play. Anything you can use to kind of keep them laser focused. Now I could look ahead, and I just did this morning when you said look at Texas Southern, Prairie View. They got to win at home. Those are going to be tough games. And then I look back at the preseason predictions, and when we had Coach Johnson on, he said he wished they were predicted even lower.
Lower,
But,
right.
but, but lo and behold, they're in the top two right now. Well, in the lead with Grambling State University. So with that being said, Coach Pettaway, if you're picked to be in the middle of the pack and you have a better showing at the end of the regular season, you're second and third. How do you preach that to your team? Do you say, well, no, that's why you don't really pay attention to the preseason predictions? But then as a coach, you kind of know whether your team is much better than the predictions, or do you want to just low ball it like Coach Johnson did?
No. He's absolutely right. It would have
Mhm.
served you all better for them to even pitch you even lower. You use it as motivation, man. You put that out there. You from day one, you let them know. Well, they don't respect us. We got to go out and we got to earn it. We got to get on the floor. We got to earn our respect, and that's what they're doing right now. They're playing for themselves. They're playing for your university. They're trying to get respect because you were not. The prognosticator said, "Well, you're not going to be that good this year," and you're proving them wrong. So we as coaches, something we like that, because you're not when you are the hunted, it's hard to stay on top. But when people don't expect you to do anything, you can sneak up on people. They don't take you as serious, and that helps us sometimes as coaches.
Yeah. One of the persons in the chat room, and I agree with him. I said it earlier. The ball movement. Sometimes when you lose uh, your top player, you'll find out will the team bond together, and that's one of the things I noticed. Also, that the ball movement was much better sometimes, and I'm not specifically talking about Southern, but even on the high level of basketball, sometimes, Coach, you have a player that's been so spectacular, and Joseph has been on a tremendous run. Sometimes you tend to, watch him do his thing. Then when he's not there, again, the ball movement was much better, the spacing, and they were able to uh, get it done.
But here's the reason why a lot of times the spacing is different.
Hmm.
Because coming into the game, your game plan was directed at helping to slow down Joseph. So there's more defenders in his area when he gets the ball. All right. When he's not on the floor, then a lot of times you don't have the same principles. So that will give you open space. Now in basketball, there are there are people that we call ball stoppers.
Hmm.
When the ball gets to them, it's gonna stop because that dude is gonna try to get his numbers or do his thing, right?
Hmm.
Well, sometimes when you have a ball stopper and they're not on the floor. Now, I'm not saying that Joseph is one now because I
Hmm.
love the way this kid plays. I've seen him several times this year. He's an excellent player, but sometimes when that star player is not on the floor, other people on the team, other guys on the team, they elevate their game. And so
Hmm.
instead of one person trying to make up for what Joseph does, everybody just elevates their game a little bit so it spreads the wealth around. And that's what you see sometimes. But in the NBA, there are people that are called ball stop. That used to be
Hmm.
Carmelo Anthony's tag for years.
Uh-oh.
That
Yeah.
once he got the basketball, other people didn't see it.
See it.
Right, because he was going to do his thing. Yep.
Mhm. But it's interesting about that. Sometimes I feel that you can shoot your way in the game,
Yeah.
but then if you're off, and sometimes the ball won't go in the basket, then do you have other parts of your game that you can help the team? Rebound, defense. That's why, and not to get off topic, one of the best two-way players of all time is considered the best player of all time.
Right. Right.
Michael Jordan,
Jordan. Yeah.
defensive player of the year, all NBA defensive team. To me, he was a great, great two-way player, Coach.
Right. That's true. And then, like for instance, with your Jaguars, one of the things that makes you all so successful. Look at how many times Coach Johnson changes his defense. Look at what he's doing. He's throwing the timing off of the opponents. If you look, man, he's constantly changing the defense, from full court to half court. He changes it, go from zone to man. He does the matchup. He does it all, man. And that's hard to prepare for because you don't know what to prepare for. And then I think what he's doing, when he figures out what's working, that's what he stays with. Because in that Jackson State game, man, he had them turning every which way but loose, man. Because he kept changing things up.
Good point. Because right at the beginning of the game, help me out, Coach Pettaway. They were full court, but they were trapping.
Right.
And then Jackson State already down some of the players with their energy. It's kind of like the animal's wounded, and I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Right.
And to your point, yeah, and I thought it threw Jackson State off. And then when Jackson State did adjust and made their run, then Coach Johnson kept the team together.
Right.
And because one of the things, Coach, when a team has a big lead, I get nervous because again, the other team is going to be competitive. They're not going to give up, and they're going to make a run. Can you stand against a run and then maintain? And then, Coach, it takes so much energy for a team when they're behind and they're able to come back. But Jackson State women did that.
Right. But see, the difference is the Jackson State women, they have that championship DNA. So they know what it takes to win. They know how to win. They've come from behind before. Well, they don't, I mean, it's not very often that they get behind, but they know how to handle that. Mm-hmm. And when you look at their roster, break down their roster now, look at all the veteran players they have on that team. We've been seeing some of those same young ladies now for 4 or 5 years. Yep. So she's got a veteran ball club, and then she sprinkles in, some of the new people that she got on the roster. But that's a veteran team, and they're playing like it.
Yeah. Kudos. Hats off to them, Coach Reed and that staff. They've done a tremendous job. The record indicates that. But, seeing it in person at times, boy, they're really good. Coach, we got to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at the SWAC baseball predicted order finish. Also, got to look at the softball. And by the way, the Jaguars won their first game against North Dakota 2-1. So off to a good start. I have to get an update on the second game, but we'll do that. Of course, Southern football signings. We're going to have Stephon Wright as our special guest at the end of the second hour. Coach Graves joins us at the top of our number 2. And we'll talk about the 2024 football signings. And by the way, Coach, congratulations to all the student athletes who signed. Right. And will continue to sign even up until May or June because, Coach, recruiting is the bloodline of any athletic program and any athletic sport. So we'll take a time out. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, The Science Machine, Michael Green, The Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone's con. See you there. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Make sure you share, hit the notification button, not only for the Coles Brown Show, but all the shows on the Black College Sports Network. Share and like and all of that good stuff. Good morning, Johnny. Glad to have you in. Coach Pettaway, it's
Yes.
interesting. During the break, I don't know how I got a mysterious text message. UAPB, must be a support of UAPB women, said, Carlos, we took care of the Jaguars. We'll show Southern and Jackson State who's going to get it done on the women's basketball side. I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking for that and all. Yeah, that's
good that they got confidence. They're supposed to have confidence. They should.
And I couldn't say anything because they did come to Southern and spank them at the FG Clark Activity Center. So, hey, hopefully they'll see those two teams again. Hopefully. So, softball preseason predictions in the East, Alabama State. You know a lot about them, Coach.
Oh yeah.
Petaway. Number 2 in the East, Bethune-Cookman University, FAMU third. Coming in the 4th spot, predicted order finish. Jackson State, 5th, Alabama A&M, and Mississippi Valley 6th. On the West side, yeah, mysterious text message. Yeah, I have so many friends. I think I may have given out some information, and they got a hold of the email address. Of course, you can see it on the show as well. In the West, Prairie View picked to win the West. Grambling State 2nd, 3rd TSU, 4th Alcorn State, 5th Southern University, and 6th UAPB. Also, I just looked in the chat room, and according to VW, Southern lost to Montana 5-4, but it was a controversial call. No, that doesn't happen. Referees are human. I understand, but boy, you hate that a controversial call can decide or help decide a game.
Right.
Whoa. On the baseball side, came out this past week in the East, Alabama State. In the East,
surprise there. No surprise there.
No, but I'm gonna put a little virus out there just to get people to think about it. Not seeing who's coming back, who's returning, but I'll talk about it in a second. Bethune-Cookman number 2, FAMU number 3, defending SWAC baseball champions. Number 4, JSU, 5, Alabama A&M, and 6, Mississippi Valley State. In the West, Grambling State University, number 1, Prairie View A&M, number 2, 3, Southern University, 4, Texas Southern, 5th UAPB, and 6, Alcorn State. Now, for those in the chat room, Coach Petaway, my colleagues, without looking at the roster, without looking at who's returning, I would have thought FAMU would have been placed higher. And, Alabama State, traditionally, Coach Petaway, they're in it every year.
Right.
I just thought FAMU would be, and I guess, you look at Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman, great programs. Their record has indicated that. But I guess I'll rephrase it. I was a little surprised FAMU got picked 3rd. But if I'm not mistaken, they were picked 3rd last year. So what does that mean?
Well, I think this year, what the coaches was looking at, they lost a lot of people. They lost. See, the coaches in the league, they know who the seniors were. They know who was coming back. So they feel that FAMU lost enough that it would not be a all Florida championship like it was last year. And then they went with Bama State because Bama State has been the most consistent baseball program over the last 4 or 5 years. So I think that had a lot to do with it. I keep up with the baseball. I like baseball, and to see that it wasn't nothing but a Florida Classic last year for the SWAC championship. But FAMU lost a lot, and I think that's part of the reason why the coaches didn't feel like they would be back on top this year.
Well, I tried to start, and I was denied. But I'm glad I prefaced it by saying I hadn't looked at the roster, and I don't know who were returning back. You explained it well, Coach Petaway. The fan part of me just wondered, but it will be determined on the diamond,
right?
And
for both softball and baseball. They in my case for Alabama A&M, they picked our teams in softball and baseball about the same. Next to last in the East. So we've got a lot to play for.
Yeah, motivation, and it's a long season. Then you have the tournament action at the end of the regular season. So a lot to play for. With that being said, we'll take another quick timeout. I want to transition and get ready for Coach Barry Doyle and Jalen Rogers. They accomplished something that's kind of tough to do, but I know it's been done in other sports, both on the amateur side and the professional side, to go back to back. Also, I'll rely on my limited time working in the bowling industry with Coach Doyle. I first met him as a youngster, and he was bowling locally at an establishment that I worked at in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Uh, the bowling industry, got a chance to work in 1993, the IBC Women International Bowling Congress tournament. That was great, and just kind of the things, behind the scene that some people don't know about, but it's a great activity. Millions bowl, even locally now, at least in Louisiana. They have team competition. So it is a sport that's very popular, in my humble opinion. And, the question, Coach Pettaway, are you athletic enough? Are they athletes? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
You throw a 15-pound or 16-pound ball, it's not easy as you think. And
Right.
put it this way, Coach Pettaway, I won't let everyone know about my bowling average years ago. It wasn't good. But anyway, it is a team sport, and they are student athletes, and it is athleticism.
And I got a story when we come back to tell you about bowling when they first
Okay.
put it in the SWAC.
Okay. Well, we'll gather all of that in with Coach Barry Doyle and Jalen Rogers, a young student athlete who he told me was the glue on this team. But we'll tell you more about that. Let's take a break. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. I'm joined by Coach Van Pettaway and special guest coming up, Coach Barry Doyle and Jalen Rogers. And here's a young lady who's not only a student athlete, but a great student athlete in the classroom, also on the bowling lanes. And they were able to accomplish something, back-to-back championships in the Southwestern Athletic Conference in 23 and 24. We'll bring up Coach Doyle, and then I'm sure we'll have Jalen Rogers in a second as well. Coach Doyle, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you. On the way home from the trip last week, I
we'll
got
get him
under
back.
the weather.
Yeah, you were under the weather.
Yeah, so I'm feeling a little better.
I think you froze up a little bit.
No,
we'll get him back. Yeah.
But no, he said you were under the weather, but are you feeling better now?
I'm feeling better. Yeah.
Well,
okay. There we go.
When you win a championship, you gotta feel good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, a little bit under the weather, but hey, talk about this bowling team, their accomplishment. That's kind of hard to do back to back, but you guys got it done.
Well, we, I brought back 3 players from last year, 3 of my strongest players, and I recruited 2 freshmen and had a transfer come in. And I felt that this team, I said it all year, this team was probably stronger than last year's team. And, we had a strong chance to repeat. We just had to put the work in and believe in themselves and follow the process. And it happened.
How was the thoughts after you were able to accomplish it? Immediately after the match, was it a moment of, wow, hey, we did it? Or as you just alluded to, you kind of knew you had the makings to do it, but finally to get it done?
It was both, we won 11 games in a row to accomplish it. And we went into each day knowing what we needed to do. Like the first day we went 4-1. And after we went 4-1, I told the girls we need to go undefeated the next day, and they did. And the next day, we had a 1-game lead on the next team, and I told them the magic number was 4, but it could be 3. And the team behind us, they lost, and the magic number was 3 on Sunday, and we won the first 3 games outright, and we wrapped up the title.
Well, Coach Joe, how is the setup as far as match play in this competition?
Well, so we do roundups. A regular season, we just bowl traditional games, 5-on-5, 1-game matches. That's how we establish our record. So the first roundup was in San Antonio, and that's when we had the bad weather about 3 weeks ago, and so we one of the schools couldn't make it due to weather, so it wasn't their fault. So we only bowled 7 games. We were supposed to bowl 14. We bowled 7 games that weekend. We were 4-3. We were 1 game out of first, but they had 4 teams in front of us. And so our mindset when we went to D'Iberville, Mississippi last weekend was, we don't need to lose more than 2 games to have a chance. I figured, it would, if we had about 5 losses, we would have a chance. And on that first day, we won our first match. We lost our second match. I looked at the girls. I said, well, it's go time. And they turned it on.
Now, you told me about Jalen Rogers, and we're going to bring her in. The glue of the team, academically strong, bowling strong. What has she meant to this bowling program?
Man, Jalen, it brings me, Jalen, I knew her family. Her grandmother and I bowled, and her grandfather, we all bowled together years ago. And so I knew her pedigree. And when the opportunity came for her to, come to Southern University and bowl for me, that was my first recruit. And, it was like a family thing, but I like I said, I knew her pedigree. I knew what she was made of. Her high school GPA, spoke for itself. I knew I had been a good one. And I told her I was going to build a program around her. And she has been just the pillar of the program from day one. She took the anchor position, maybe her 3rd match as a freshman, and we never looked back. She is, to me, she's one of the best anchors in the country. She is the best in the conference. She's one of the best in the country.
Coach Pettaway, he said anchor. Now,
right.
I kind of think I know what it means, but if not, can we explain that? And let's see, we'll bring in Jalen Rogers. And there she is. Good morning, Jalen. Welcome to the Carlos Brown Show. Congratulations.
Turn your mic on.
Yeah, we got to hear. We've got to hear her voice.
Yeah, you there, Jalen? Uh-oh. No, can't hear.
Look around the screen.
Oh, don't panic.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. But she's when you say she's the anchor, she's the person that probably solidifies the team. She gets everybody together. She lets the other young ladies know that, hey, it's go time.
Well, she's the team captain, but
Right.
So on a bowling team, we bowl as a team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. She's the fifth bowler. You want your strongest bowler at the bottom.
Right.
And so when it comes down to the end of the game, you need a closer. She's basically a closer, like a pitcher, need her to close the game out. And she's been that since as a freshman. And I mean, she has won a lot of games for this bowling team in the last 3 years.
Coach, that's awesome. I had an opportunity to be at Alabama A&M when bowling first came in the SWAC. Carlos, this is what I want to remind you of. When bowling first came in the SWAC, I was at the point where I thought I was going to be getting away from basketball. Do you know I wanted to be our first bowling coach at A&M?
Really?
I informed my athletic director. So now I didn't get that. I didn't pursue it. And then what I did, I became a supporter of the bowling team. I was voted the number for their first 5 or 6 years in the SWAC. I was voted their number one supporter. I did everything. And I even tell you this. I brought my basketball team to Baton Rouge for a game. You know where I was on Saturday morning? I was at some kind of roundup. I think it's a bowling alley, I think, right on Airline Highway somewhere. It used to be anyway.
Yeah, well, it's two of them. What's a Metro Bowl or
right?
Cars?
That's what I'm telling you. That's where I was. I took the team to the hotel. I went to watch the bowling because our bowling team was there, and I think it was like a tournament or something because there were other teams there besides Southern. So I went and visited our women's team as they bowled against Southern, and so I've always been a part of bowling. And then I was instrumental in helping us get our little bowling lane on campus because we did everything at the Penn Palace here in Huntsville until we got lanes on our campus. But I love bowling, man. The ladies are athletes because everybody can't bowl. I can point out plenty of people. They cannot throw a roll. They cannot roll a bowling ball. There'll be plenty of gutter balls. So they're great athletes. And I think it was Jeff McCorvey was one of he and his wife were our first bowling coaches at A&M. Oh, so Coach, you know Jeff? Yep.
Yes, he owns several pro shops around the country. I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, I'm Jeff's guy. I was his. He and his ladies voted me their number one fan. Because I did it, Carlos. I did everything for those ladies. I like them, man.
Awesome.
Yep, I always supported bowling.
Coach Moore, he's a great guy. I love him. He's the coach there now.
Yeah. He's a coach now. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and we have Jalen Rogers back. I met Coach Doyle working at a local bowling establishment, and boy, he was a bad man back then bowling. So I know. Let's see, Jalen Rogers. Let's see if we can hear you now.
Hello, everyone.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Carlos Brown Show. Last time I had Coach Doyle on, I asked him to bring one of the student athletes, and let me just say, you ladies have done a tremendous job, and he's been talking about back-to-back championships, and you've been the glue. The anchor is that the correct term to use for this program. First of all, how does it feel to have that major accomplishment with you and your teammates?
It's very indescribable because I know that this team is very strong. I knew we had a shot for sure. Um, but with our little mishaps at the last SWAC roundup, I think we lost 4 matches. It was kind
Three.
of it was 3.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, it was 3. I was like, And then a lot of the teams in front of us were tied. So I was like, we got a shot, but we really had to do a lot of digging because the teams in front of us it was something serious. They wasn't just no teams they gonna back down to. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is to go back to back regular season. That's something, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of us for real.
Yeah. Uh, did you young ladies, when you kind of went through a little adversity, um, did you ladies just talk about what you need to get over the hump and against the adversity, and did you ladies talk about achieving those goals after that adversity?
Yes, we definitely talk about a lot of our adversities. We set goals as teams. We did a lot of the planning. It was just the execution part. But as far as being in the moment type of adversity, when it comes to that, we really just kind of block out everything else and just try to figure out what can we do right now to like help the team finish this game or win, or who needs to make a move right now, or like what the case may be. Like it really does. It's a team effort.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. This question for both of you, Coach Doyle. I'm always interested because again, I worked in the bowling industry. The lane conditions, oily, dry, was the lanes wooden, synthetic? I know we asked you about that the last time. But is there a difference when you're
Big difference.
bowling uh, um, against synthetic wood lanes, oily conditions, dry? Either one could answer.
Well, we only bowl on synthetic lanes now. The wood lanes are pretty much over with.
I'm glad that happened. Oh boy, that's tough. Resurfing those lanes all the time. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but I'll let Jalen answer. She's the one throwing the balls. I'm
Yes,
just the manager.
Yeah,
go
Jalen,
ahead,
what do you
Jalen.
like the
Tell us
best?
about it.
Yeah, what
It's
do you
a
like the best?
I definitely like synthetic lanes the best. They have the best consistency. As far as the oil conditions vary from tournament to tournament.
Hmm.
As far as like the units of oil that's put down the lane, which is like how fast it might break down, or the feet, like how far does the oil go down the lane. So like one of our tournaments, I think it was like 34 feet. The last one we went to was 34 feet, whereas the first one was, I think, 44. So
Right.
it's big difference. Like the last time we went to was very short. Like you could play around the ditch and that ball is
Mm.
gonna come back. So versus the first roundup we went to, it wasn't like that. You had to play more inside, maybe slow your speed down a little bit. So it definitely varies. You have to play your condition. So
Wow. Hey, Coach Pedro and Coach Dahl. Jalen, is coaching in your future? I mean, you just bring and will you be able to consult like a bowler like me? I'm older now, but just horrible. Could you help out?
I can help wherever it's needed. Yeah, I
But
know
seriously,
a lot of basics of bowling and how that stuff works. But yeah,
oh yeah, I could tell by your answer. You're absolutely right. So, what does the future look like for you? Will you try professionally, or will you one day decide to coach?
uh, as far as coaching, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Maybe one day I would like to have my own team, but that's not in the first part of my mind. I want to go to
Right,
PT
right.
school.
Okay.
However, like I do believe that if you have a talent and you do have the ability to like help other people with it, then of course you may be able to take it farther. So maybe coaching wouldn't be bad, but it's not in the first part of my mind. I want to go to PT school.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer. Um, where we go now, Coach Doyle and Jalen, after back-to-back regular season champions?
Well, winning the regular season title gives us the number one seed. So it's kind of like NCAA
Mhm,
basketball, right?
mhm.
So we're the number one seed at the SWAC tournament next March, March 22nd through the 24th, in Arlington, Texas. And the winner of the SWAC tournament goes to the NCAA tournament, has a chance at the NCAA national championship. And we were the first seed last year. We didn't accomplish what we wanted to. So that's the mission. I asked the girls, I think that night when we got back home, what the thought was. And the first thing come out of Jalen's mouth was, we got to get ready for the SWAC tournament. It was like, I was like, well, we could have joined us for 24 hours. They were like, no, we ready to get.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
And that's interesting because I know we've had a lot of debates, Jalen and Coach, about regular season versus the tournament in other sports, particularly basketball. Regular season, you pay the price all season and you get it done. And then in the tournament, is it added pressure knowing that you're the regular season champion, or is it less pressure?
It shouldn't.
Well, I know in basketball, there is pressure, but it's got to be the same way in bowling.
It is.
Because I can remember, I think Jeff they made it to the championship game before, so it's got to be pressure. And I know, Jalen, isn't there pressure to go from winning now and then wanting to getting that number one seed and moving on and winning the tournament?
It definitely does. Like, it's a lot of pressure because everybody looking at you, number one seed. So everybody's gunning for the first place spot.
Yeah.
What happens? We was in the first place spot and they was not letting it up. So,
well,
as a freshman, Jalen, as a freshman, we made it to the championship as a 3 seed.
Wow.
And we lost that year. So, we've had a taste of it. So we've won the regular season title now back to back. So it's time to get back to that ESPN championship and win it all.
Well, I understand that. Well, let me phrase it another way. Should the regular season champion automatically make it to the tournament? I know I'm probably opening up a can of worms with that one.
It's like basketball, you get a bye, so you get a small advantage, but you still got to win 2 matches to get to the finals. And for the next six weeks, however long it is, we about to grind like we in last place. We about to grind.
I understand. Very good answer to the question. Jalen, so you have 1 year left of eligibility, correct?
Correct.
Where does this team look to add pieces for next year? Because you got an outstanding program. I'm looking at some of the comments in the chat room. Congratulations. Setting the standard for the athletic department. And to be honest with you, we probably should talk more about the bowling team, the women's track team. I mean, we can do a better job of, conversating and covering the women's sports within the athletic department. Do you agree with that, Jalen?
That there should be more coverage for the women's sports?
Yeah. Do you feel? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do. I definitely agree. While I am a student athlete and I'm a student as well, I'm also on the student athlete advisory committee at the school. So we listen to our athletes' thoughts and what do they feel like they need. And that's definitely one of the biggest needs, especially on our campus, because a lot of like the major teams like basketball, football, baseball, like they get a lot of the coverage, whether it's with pictures or whether it's like more support. But as far as like track and field, sometimes soccer, tennis, now we have golf, and the bowling team is like, it's like you get the support, but it's at the same time it's not the same. It feels like almost like not like you're looked over, but it's not as much attention on us, and we do the same thing as everybody else. So but yeah, I definitely feel like with the women's sports, we should definitely have more attention and more recognition, I guess you could say.
Well, you know what, Coach Petaway, and I agree. And for this show, we can do a much better job with the women's sports, covering them. And so absolutely right. And that's kind of why I asked Jalen about that.
Carlos, I do want to shout out some of the rest of the players on the team. We only have 6 players, but I mean, Jalen didn't win it by herself. Nyla Wilson, one of her teammates, a junior. In fact, we don't have any seniors. This whole team is coming back next year.
Wow, that's good.
So
that's awesome.
Nyla Wilson had a phenomenal week last week. She went from 30th to 5th overall. We got the freshman of the year, Jemiah Bolden from Chicago. She finished 8th overall, second team all SWAC. She won freshman of the year, just like Jalen did 2 years ago. We have Kelsey Quinney, who's a junior also. She was first team all SWAC tournament last year. She finished, I think, 15th or 16th. This past week. We had four young ladies in the top 16 out of, 80 bowlers. We have freshman Ashley Adams from Atlanta, Georgia. She in the first roundup, she put up a couple of 200s that helped. And then we have a transfer, a junior, Naomi Smith. She also put up some 200s this past week, a couple of 200s this past week, and it helped out too. So as a team, they did it, man. And, we're probably one of the only teams that had 4 people in the top 15 or 16, and that's what it takes to win. So,
wow.
Right. Now, Coach Doyle, you mentioned Chicago. We at Alabama A&M, we had a few young ladies out of Chicago over the years on our team. Is it because do they have high school bowling teams up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, we have high school bowling here. It's growing. It's not in every state yet, but it's growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Carlos, I can remember us having bowlers from Illinois, from Chicago on our rosters. Yep.
That's that's interesting because again, some of the things that the bowlers have to go through. If you're not from this area, you have to make an adjustment. One, coming into college, geographically a different area, and then you learn to grow as a person coming into college. So, with that being said, Jalen and Coach Dahl, any closing comments you would like to make? And once again, congratulations.
Yep,
At least
congratulations.
from my part, and we promise to do a better job of covering the women's sports. But any closing comments?
I'll let you go first, Jalen.
All I have to say is just be on the lookout. We're definitely growing still. Like, this program is very much alive now. And yeah, shout out to my girls, because I did not do it alone whatsoever. So it was definitely a team effort, and yeah, go Jags.
What about Coach?
Coach. One thing about Coach, he does not mind getting us equipment. A lot of us got new equipment before we came to this tournament, and it be balls that's unreleased. It be stuff that, like, everybody be like, oh my God, what ball is that? Like, so it really helps. It helps a lot with the coaching aspect, with the equipment aspect, everything, traveling. It's a lot. So.
Oh yeah.
Our season goes from October 1st through the end of March. We probably have the longest season out of everyone. I mean, we only do 9-10 tournaments, but still, it's grueling. We don't practice during December. Everybody goes home, but it's a grueling schedule. We're a road team. We're always on the road, and these girls they put in the work just like everyone else.
Yes. So the question is, I think it's answered. Do you have to be athletic to participate in the sport of bowling?
Yes.
You doggone right you do. Yeah.
And we bowl 5 games a day, 3-day matches, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 to 6 hours, pretty much on your feet. You get to sit down every blue moon for a couple of minutes, but they're bowling 5 hours, 15 hours of bowling in 3 days. Driving on Thursday, bowl on Sunday for 5 hours, then get in a van and ride home.
Yeah.
Jalen, looked like you wanted to say something. Go ahead. You have the opportunity about being athletic.
I mean, I think that's definitely something people don't know about bowling unless, like, you just come to a match. But you definitely have to be athletic, especially with your, hearing your bicep, tricep, and in your legs, because it's a leg sport. It is a leg sport for real, especially when you are standing up on your feet. Coach narrowed it down with these 5-6 hours. It be more than that. We be up. But I mean, it comes with the game though. Like, you get used to it over time, but we do not sit down at all. Like,
and they throwing 15-pound balls. I mean,
Right.
countless times a day. 15 pounds, 5 games. I mean, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 100 balls a day, something like that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I worked in the bowling industry.
Yeah, I know you know.
And look, I had a shift 4 a.m. to noon. I'm a little secret. I used to bowl on the clock when I wasn't supposed to, just to practice, and still threw gutter balls, Jalen. I don't think it's no help for me. On that note, appreciate you, Jalen Rogers, and Coach Doyle. Congratulations once again. We'll talk again soon. We'll get an update, and we'll like to have you back as soon as possible.
thank you.
Thank you.
You all have a great time.
Thanks,
And once
Lois.
again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That was Coach Barry Doyle, women's bowling coach, and Jalen Rogers, student athlete. We are overdue, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
It was worth it. We'll take another time out when we come back. Coach Graves joins us. Talk about his 2024 signing class. I'll just say this quickly. I always look at needs versus wants. You get needs first, they hit it. We'll be back. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. There he is, Coach Terrence Grape. And by the way, Coach Pettaway, if I'm not mistaken, a big New York Knicks fan
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And hey, they've added depth. Where's my Miami Heat? Sinking fast. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, Coach Gray.
Good afternoon, Carlos. Good afternoon, Coach Pettaway. How you guys
Hey,
doing?
man, we doing fine, Coach. Doing great.
I feel kind of naked out. Y'all got
Oh.
the rock.
Oh, yeah, and turn it sideways a little bit. Because Coach Graves, yeah, go ahead, put it on, Coach Graves.
There you go, Coach. There you go.
Yeah.
Coach, it's a pleasure having you back on. Wow, 2024 assignee class. I would just say that, and I get this from Coach Richardson, needs versus wants. You always get your needs first. How well did you guys accomplish that? I have my opinion on it, but I want to hear it straight from you.
Well, first of all, I want to say kudos to my coaching staff. Those guys did a tremendous job of understanding the game plan. We had some needs that we wanted to address. Our intent was to only sign about 15 players total because our class is we have a relatively young football team and we have some larger young guys in the sophomore and freshman classes. So in our junior class, which was our sophomore class, is probably our biggest class. So what we did was we pinpointed what we needed for this signing period going forward, and those guys did a tremendous job. We signed 6 offensive linemen. We signed about 3 defensive linemen. We wound up signing a linebacker, 4 defensive backs because we knew that's where we were going to have a large influx of exhausted eligibility. So we pinpointed that area, and so those guys did a really good job of addressing the needs. We added right after signing date. Well, it was late on signing date, but we added a tight end from St. Aug, and then we got our defensive lineman from Stephon who was a transfer from SMU. So we wanted to get in him on yesterday. So again, the coaches did a very good job, and like I say, and I'm always gonna give credit to my staff because without them, I can't be who I'm supposed to be. So they did a really good job of understanding the assignment and executing the game plan.
You're absolutely right. And I think we have a graph of the young tight end from St. Augustine and also Stephon Wright. And Coach, I looked at a little bit of the film, and the first thing to me stands out, good hands, good speed and athleticism. And a couple of people already text me, wow, because Mark Frederick, new offensive coordinator, was on last week, and he said utilizing the tight end. So with that being said, hey, a nice pickup, and also he had other Power 5 offers, but hey, we're glad to have him on board at Southern University.
Yeah, Hubert is a great addition. We actually saw Hubert going his junior year, and he was committed to Indiana. And actually, Coach Frederick was the catalyst behind getting Hubert because when he got here, he asked me. He said, "Coach, you remember the tight end from St. Aug?" And I said, "Yes," because Coach Miller recruits the New Orleans area, of course. And we talked about him, and we was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, he decommitted." And he said, "You want me to find out what's going on?" I said, "By all means." And if I said if it's somebody that you guys want, then we going after him. And Coach Fred and Coach Miller, they jumped on it, and he got in the boat Tuesday, the day before signing date, and then we had to get the paperwork together on National Signing Day. And shout out to the academic athletic academic staff and the compliance, Miss Plummer, Miss Dillon, Miss Finity, they do and Miss Bradford. They do a phenomenal job. They've done a phenomenal job since I've taken over, helping us, assisting us. Miss Plummer, I mean, she worked till late Tuesday night, making sure that those guys had their NLIs and scholarships for National Signing Day. And, they clutch. I call them my dream team. So they did a great job. They did a great job of making sure the guys had what they needed to have for the official visits. They did a great job of doing the academic assessments of our transfer guys. Like I say, it's a total team effort. And I told you the acronym that I use is team. Together, everyone achieves more. And I don't just say that, or that's some catchy cliche deal. Everybody has a vital and important part for our success. So that's what we do. We're going to utilize everybody. Everybody's important. So I want to make sure that I acknowledge them as well. Great job by Coach A.D. Banks for allowing us to go out and recruit. He allowed us to have an official visit even when I was the interim head coach. And that happened. Coach Pettaway, you know that.
That's right.
Very seldom
That's right.
does an interim head coach get to have an official visit. And we had that in December, and that was clutch because on that visit, we were able to get about 4 of those guys that we had bought in. We bought in about 6, and I think it was 6 we bought in, and we wound up with 4 of those 6. So kudos to everybody that was involved in that process. It's not just me; it's everybody.
Right. And Coach Graves, you're absolutely correct because we as head coaches, we only are as successful as the people around us. We will not have success unless we have those other people on the team helping us. And it's good for you to acknowledge that. And that goes a long ways. Yep. In order to be successful, other people have to buy in to what we're trying to do. And when they do that, we all prosper.
Yes. And our alumni did a great job of support and showing support and being accommodating during those times as well, especially our home alumni chapter and the quarterback club, Blue and Gold Club. Everybody, the Jaguar Nation has done a fantastic job during this recruiting process. So I don't want to just sit here and say that, it was just us or what have you. We got great support from numerous people, especially in the Jaguar Nation, in terms of making our official visits successful. The support just coming around, speaking and talking, showing the hospitality. One of the biggest things that was huge with the signing of Christian Garcia. He's a Hispanic young man that is from California. He loved the new experience, the new culture. He loved the hospitality, the Southern hospitality. He said it felt like home. Everybody was genuine, and that's what it takes. It takes everybody doing their part for us to be successful. So again, I just want to commend and thank everybody for what they've done. And look, it was I'm excited. We're excited. I'm pleased with our recruiting class. We're probably going to add another piece or two later on, somewhere around the summertime, early summer, late summer, just depends on who's out there. So again, like I always say, recruiting is fluid now, especially in college football. So, we won't go overboard and go haywire, but we're going to always add those pieces that we feel like are essential and a necessity to what we need to do.
It's always now, Coach, post-signing day. You still continue to recruit. Coach, I'm monitoring the chat room, listen to what you say. I'll just take, if I can, with your permission, a question. Joseph Davis said, Coach Graves, do you have a replacement for Robins? And will you back up kicker and long snapper? There we go, Coach Graves. So I won't have to look over that way. Do you have a replacement for Robins?
Yeah, I have I've already spoken with him. I have a young man that will probably join us in the summertime. He's a dual He's a dual guy. So so you don't replace a guy like Robin's both playing. So the golden foot. We always used to say he kicks the ball, he punts the balls to the heavens. But Josh Griffin is our golden leg, the field goal kicker and kickoff guy. He's our extra man when it comes to kickoff coverage, who probably has more touchbacks than anybody. He had the longest field goal in the conference and probably one of the longest in FCS football with a 54-yarder against the win against Texas Southern to send the game to overtime. So, that's I have somebody. You don't replace Robins, but I have somebody who's going to come in and do a great job for us.
We're visiting with Coach Terrence Graves, head football coach at Southern University. Boy, you're a popular guy, Coach Graves. It's pouring in. I actually can disregard my points that I wanted to talk about, but wants versus needs. Off-season conditioning. I saw the video. Something about your voice, Coach Graves. We know who you are. You call it family in the weight room.
Family time.
Also, yes, sir. Family time. And then also follow that one up with ask Coach Graves about spring practice and when
that's what I was going to do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Coach,
no.
Go ahead and ask it. You go right ahead,
Coach.
Sir.
I know everything leads up to spring practice. Are you on schedule, and how is that going to look?
Yes, Coach, we are. We're going to start spring practice March the 18th. Okay. So we're going to start March the 18th because what I despised as a player, I despised it as an assistant coach. So I don't believe in that split spring. Start spring ball, then the guys go on spring break. Right. Then you got to come back. It's like starting all over again. And then you're frustrated as a coach because everything you did, you threw away. Right. So we're gonna get in that iron hole and we're gonna run all the way up until spring break. And then when they come back from wherever they're going, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna start spring ball on that Monday on the 18th.
18th. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And Carlos, too, I guess your question was, it's family time. And what family time is in the iron hole is after the workout, at the end of the workout, there's something that we do, whether it's push-ups, 6 inches, or whatever, my mind conjures up for them to do. And we are focusing on our mental toughness.
Right.
Because what happens is, and we call it family time because we're doing it together. And, I'm a music lover. And, I'm also, I told you, sometimes I'm a diabolical mad scientist for some reason. The OJ's family reunion just happened to come in my mind, and so I put the song on, and those guys is like, "Coach, what is this?" I say, "Just sit back and relax and let the smooth rhythm of the OJ's take it to another place," because I was about to put it on them with them 6 inches. But now you know what's funny about that? Those guys have family reunion in their playlist now. So when it comes family time, I don't even have to plug my phone in. They already say, "Coach," and one day I didn't play it purposely. And those guys are like, "Coach, you got to put family reunion on, Coach. You got to put," and so they already have it plugged in. And then one of the other players, Tyler Kirkwood, the other day we were having Thursday is Throwback Thursday. So they can't listen to any of their music. They got to listen to all throwback.
That's all right.
Hip hop, whether it's R&B, whatever.
Which is good music.
Tyler Kirkwood had in his playlist Sam Cooke, "Change Is Gonna Come." And those guys went nuts in the weight room. So it's been fun. It's been good. Those guys are working hard in the weight room. They're working hard out there on the field and conditioning. We keep score every day. So you have to win the day. You got to dominate the day. So we finished 3-1 this week. I told them that's not good enough. The goal is to go 4-0 because we work out 4 days a week. We went 3-1 2 weeks in a row. So the goal is to go 4-0 and be 4-0 every week. But those guys are really responding. They're accepting what we're throwing at them, and they bought in. And the coaches are really doing a great job of building relationships with guys on the other side of the ball, and as well as their respective side of the ball. It's just a total team effort. So everybody's doing a great job, and it's been good thus far.
That's good. That's awesome, Coach. And that's what it's going to take for a team to be together, to make it through tough times. You know, doing the games, yes, and being able to push each other through the workouts. That's going to help the team on down the road.
Yeah, and I agree. And it seems like also the emphasis, and again, I'm going to be honest, I saw one of the videos, and off-season conditioning, running. And I saw you, Coach, with the the megaphone. So it seems like old school, if I say it that way, old school is important. Football doesn't change fundamentals, conditioning all year, all of those things. Is that it? Old school? One of your
Well, you know, balance is the key. And the Bible speaks about balance. You got to have balance. Yeah. And so it's not about me so much of being old school versus new school. I just think it's balance. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to impart our wisdom amongst these young men, because we've already experienced what they're going through. Now, Coach Chris Scott is the mastermind behind that megaphone. You know,
hey. Capital High graduate, 2 years behind me.
Yeah. He came up with the megaphone because, you know, I'm already loud, but those guys like, Coach, we don't want you to strain your voice, so they give me the megaphone. But now the players say that's the worst thing in the world, because I talk the entire practice in the megaphone, and I'm saying little things to them and making up all kind of rhymes and all, and they's like, will somebody stop that, man? He is going crazy. But in terms of running, Carlos, you know, I played and came up under Coach Pete Richardson. And Coach Richardson thing was, you got to run to win. Right. So now one thing we did at Winston-Salem State, we ran and we had hills. And so we had hills like at A&M. So right. you actually had to run. When you came out the locker room, you had to go down the hill. Then you had to cross the street. Then you had to go down the hill to the practice field. And then we had another practice field that was hidden where we would go if we thought people were spying on us before the big game. So you had to go down that hill. The only way you could use the steps is if you were injured. If you were injured or if you were a coach, you could use the steps. But if you were a player, you had to go up and down the hill. And Coach Richardson believed in running. He used to always say, run to win. So when a lot of the former players from Southern, from Mississippi Valley, from Norfolk, from Grambling, those guys, when they saw the video, those guys would comment and I was laughing. They was like, here we go with this again. Yeah. Here we go, run to win. Mm-hmm. Boy, I don't miss those days. So that's just part of it, Carlos. It's just taking those things that helped us be successful, me be successful as a player and a coach, and imparting amongst these guys. And they understand it and they love it. And I tell you, they're eating it. You know, we're teaching those guys to compete. You know, we're challenging those guys to not let the same guy be first all the time. And you can see those guys, even though they may not be faster than the guy that may be first, but you can see the determination and the grit of those guys giving their all, trying to beat the guy who's first. And so if they happen to beat him or if they happen to get close to him, then that's success and progress. And as coaches, that's what you want. You want to see guys give their all. I tell them all the time, I want your best effort. I want you to be the greatest that you can be. I don't want you to try to be nobody else. Be the greatest that you can be, because if everybody is their greatest self, then we'll be great together.
Yeah. And that leads me right into spring practice and competing. You know, some ask questions, no quarterback, but last time we talked to you, you said you were satisfied, and I agree with what you have coming back. What are some of the goals for spring practice, you know, to accomplish?
Well, I want us to number one, I want us to basically grasp the system and execute it at a high level. We want to come out at the end of the spring with all the players understanding and knowing how to execute what we're going to do, offense, defense, special teams wise, and do it at a high level. In terms of, I want us to grow together as a team. I want us to really grow together and feel good about where we are at the end of the spring. Even though we're going to compete against each other on offense and defense, but we're going to put the blue and gold on Saturdays in the fall. We're one team. We're going to compete to make each other better, but we're one team. And so those are things that we're looking for. Who can master what we're going to do, and how well they can do it within the confines of the rules of the game, and develop the leadership, which I think is coming at a steady rate. The leaders are starting to step up and really step out, because bad teams have no leadership. Good teams, the coaches lead, and elite teams are led by the players. So we're good, but we need to get to elite, and we're trending that way. I will say we are trending that way. In terms of the quarterbacks, Noah Biden is very capable of being one of the best quarterbacks in FCS football, not just in the SWAC. He's one of the best talents in college football. And then we have two great young quarterbacks as Sasavian T-Set from Scotlandville and Jalen Woods from Georgia. We got three quarterbacks. Noah played well in the Bayou Classic, but again, those three will compete and battle for the starting spot. Nobody has a starting nowhere. Nobody has a starting spot.
Yeah,
you got to put somebody out there first. So you got to put the guys out there who played the most and went, but they understand that nobody has a starting job. So freshman shows that he can go out there and execute what we're doing at a high level. Our freshmen will play. We play freshmen at other positions. So nobody has like we tell them all the time, ain't no free lunches around here. Right. So get off the free lunch program, put your hard hat on, and go to work. So that's what we believe in, and that's what we're gonna do.
Right. Yeah. It's called competition. Competition. You gotta have.
Yeah. No question.
You gotta compete.
I would agree with that. Since the last time we talked to you, the schedule has come out. I know I'm going to ask. I almost kind of know what the answer is going to be, but a very competitive schedule, both non-conference, of course, and conference. Any thoughts on the schedule, or it's like I'm not going to worry about the schedule. We're just going to worry about us.
I mean, Carlos, I love it. I love the schedule. I mean, the schedule was made before I became the head coach, and even if it was made, if I had a hand in it or a say in it, I'm not bothered by it one bit. I love it. I love the fact that we'll be able to play some teams within the region, which makes it great because the Jaguar Nation, they'll go anywhere, but it also helps them to be right here in the region. Of course, we're going to do the Texas two-step. We got to go to Texas twice. Probably would rather have, one here and one there, but that's the schedule. You got to play the schedule that you're playing. Not concerned one bit about the schedule, not concerned about who, people ask me about, having Alcorn for homecoming. That's who the opponent is. I mean, that's who it is. And they asked me about McNeese. I said, I think that's great. Playing Southland Conference schools, we want to go out and we want to compete against teams in the region and win those games, because it gives our program and our conference as a whole respectability. As a whole, as the conference, when you do those, when you're playing outside your conference, you represent your program and you represent the conference. So we certainly want to do our part to be on the plus side of that. And the thing is, I said it before, we're going to respect everybody, but we're not going to fear anybody. We're not going to fear anybody. They put their pads on the same way we put ours on. You got to lace them sneakers up, them cleats up the same way. As much as people ask me about the schedule, those people got Southern University on the schedule too now. So, they got us on the schedule too. So, it ain't like, it ain't no one sided, and we ain't over here, woe is me and all that. We prepare, our goal and our mission is the same. Our goal and our mission is to win. So, people can take it how they want to take it, but ever since I've been 5 years old playing organized sports, my goal and mindset has always been to win. I'm not doing it with I hope to win, I wish to win. We're gonna work to win. Now, whether that happens or not, that remains to be seen. But the goal and the mission and the mindset is to win. And if that's not your goal, your mission, and your mindset, then you're in the wrong profession.
Okay.
There it is.
Well said.
Yeah,
Coach. We appreciate the time. One last question and comment for you. Super Bowl tomorrow. I know you're a Vikings fan. I'm a Saints fan. I can't remember who Coach Pettaway's NFL team is, Coach.
I've been with the Steelers. We're not doing anything.
The Steelers?
We're not doing anything. But my pick for tomorrow, and I told you Kansas City.
Ooh-wee.
Hey,
I'm
going for San Francisco.
Man, I'm torn because I like everything about I'm an Andy Reid fan, man.
Yeah.
And Spagnolia, Spags was in the CIAA back in the day at North Carolina Central. So, I'm a CIAA man. But then I'm torn because Steve Wilkes, who's a friend of mine, is the defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm conflicted, but I'm kind of leaning towards Steve Wilkes because I kind of want the Swifties to lose because I'm sick of Taylor Swift and them Swifties. But I'm gonna win either way. I like both. I like Mahomes. Whoever wins, I'm just looking for a great game. I hope it's a great game. I hope it comes down to who has the ball last. I don't want to blow out. Now, if it was the Vikings playing, I won't blow them out. But of course, it don't look like we ain't getting there no time soon. So, I'm just a cheerleader. So, I hope we get Justin Fields. But I'm gonna go with man, I can't call it. I just got.
Stay in the middle, Coach.
I got to stay in the middle.
You got people on both sides.
Yeah, there it is. I got to stay in the middle. And usually I'm either black or white, but sometimes you just got to stay in the middle. I'm on that 3-lane highway. I ain't in the left lane. I ain't in the right lane. I'm in the middle.
Yeah, a lot of times it is the gray area in the middle. So I understand that. Appreciate it, Coach Graves. We could go on. Coach Graves, I got to get you to co-host one time, like for the whole show. I could just sit back and just listen.
I appreciate y'all, and I enjoyed it. Carlos, we go back. Coach Pettaway, I told you, I got a lot of respect for you, what you did and how you did. I love the way you coach. I love the way that you give that coach's perspective on this platform, because a lot of times people don't really understand, and it's not that it's always good to have insight, information, and wisdom. And so I'm always going to give respect and homage to those who come before me and have done it at a high level. So thank y'all for this opportunity, and I appreciate it. And like I said, hats off to the assistant coaches, hats off to the players for doing such a great job, support staff, everybody involved. I'm just excited. I'm blessed. I thank God for allowing me this opportunity to do what he's called me to do, and I don't take it for granted, don't take it lightly. So with that being said, go Jags.
Go Jags. Look at that. Pat Brown. Wait a minute, Pat. Yeah, Coach Graves is a Knicks fan.
That's right, I'm a Knicks fan.
Y'all need to get the step in mind.
Hey, let me tell you something. We got 11 first-round draft picks. Now, I'm like Stephen A. Smith. He a Winston-Salem State man, and rarely do we ever agree with anything, but I agree with him on this. I said, we need to give 4 of them picks away to get LeBron and Bron and let them play together in the Garden and go win us a title. Coach. We got 11, Coach. Coach, we got 11, Coach. We got 11 first-round picks. We can give up 4, let LeBron play with Bronny, with that loaded team we got in the Garden, baby, and win us a championship. We overdue like a library book.
Oh, yeah.
We hadn't won a championship since I was 6 years old.
Well,
Carlos, I know that's driving you crazy, Carlos.
Yeah.
Hey, Carlos, if that happens, you can cancel that heat in Miami, baby.
Yep.
Let's go, Knicks.
Okay, that's the end of the interview now. All right. Coach,
That's a good one.
Coach Graves, we appreciate it. We'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
again soon. Go Knicks.
Yeah.
Go Jazz.
yes,
Awesome,
sir.
Coach
Yes,
Graves,
sir.
man. Good luck, Coach, man. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
man.
Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right.
it, man.
I'm
Thanks
pulling
a lot.
for you at every game except November the 2nd.
Well, after that one, we gotta take a timeout. I gotta calm myself down. We appreciate Coach Gray. We're gonna take a timeout. Let's see if our other special guest is ready. I'll tell you more about that after this timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get them. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Welcome back to this final segment of the Carlos Brown Show. Saturday's edition, February the 10th. Coach Pettaway, this upcoming Wednesday, for all you guys out there, Valentine's Day. Make sure you remember that day. And, Coach Petaway, I'm a smarty pants. I don't have to do anything special on that day because
do it all
I
year.
try to do it all year. You learn that. There you go. If mama's not happy, nobody's happy. And guess what?
There you go.
Sometimes we get in the dog house.
Yeah.
We really do. I'm perfectly imperfect, but I try my best. With that being said, couple of notes. Stephon Wright, Stephon Wright, defensive transfer, defensive tackle from SMU who signed with Southern University. We're going to move him to next week's show. Also, Coach Burrell, receivers coach for Southern University, will join us. And then also, you had a couple of players from Catholic High locally in Baton Rouge to sign. We're going to have the head football coach of Catholic High confirmed for next week to talk about those two young men. Of course, Coach Graves talked about needs, signing offensive lineman and defensive back. And in the chat room, EA, I love you to death, a FAMU guy. He wanted me to ask Coach Graves about coming to Bragg Stadium. I've been there. It's a tough place to play and tough to get a job done there. But the Jaguars, I'll promise you this, they will show up, of course, and they will compete hard.
Right. Now, Carlos, they'll be here in Huntsville November the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they come to Huntsville.
You're going to be ready for them, Coach Petaway? The Bulldogs going to be ready for FAMU.
Well,
yes.
I'm gonna go and try to meet with Coach Graves that Friday to see him. If he comes this far, I'll at least try to meet him, shake his hand.
Oh, yeah. And FAMU, give them hell. Give them hell when you guys play FAMU. But, hey, it's been a successful sports year for FAMU.
Oh, yes.
Football and baseball, so we give our kudos to those programs.
Carlos, you know that in women's basketball right now, with a minute 55 left in the second, Arkansas Pine Bluff is up 37-24 over Alcorn. So that means Charles is, he's ranting and raving about now. And then that Nate Kilbert going back home, because didn't Nate coach at Pine? He was at Pine Bluff before too. So right now it's 37-24 with about a minute 50 to go.
Okay. Breaking text message. EA, I love you to death, Mr. Smarty Pants. I understand it. That orange and green, that FAMU. Coach Graves say, I look forward to going to Bragg Stadium. I've won, and he put that in capital letters, I won there as a defensive coordinator. Go Jags. That's right. And then, you know what, Coach? Those rascals turned the irrigation system on the Southern players that coached 1 year as well. You got to love HBCU football.
Yeah.
You got to love it. Quickly, Coach, we got 9 minutes left. Oh, you got to love Coach Graves.
Yeah.
Swag basketball report last week, February 3rd, Jackson State over Grambling State 71. This is on the women's side. 71-63. Alabama State over Bethune-Cookman 56-53. It was Southern over Alcorn 61-58, and Alabama A&M over FAMU 71-69. Then the previous, or the next playing date, which would be the 5th, UAPB over Mississippi Valley State 76-60. Prairie View over TSU 78-65. UAPB 77-48. Actually, that's February the 5th. JSU over Southern 63-58. Alabama A&M 76-72 over Bethune-Cookman. Grambling over Alcorn State 72-55, and FAMU over Alabama State 49-40. Coach, it apparently seems to be the case. JSU, UAPB, Grambling, and then Southern. That would be my top 4.
That is right. On the women's side, I think that's how it's shaking out. And I'm just really looking forward to this match. I'm going to do everything in my power to see if I can watch this game between Arkansas Pine Bluff and Jackson State on. I think it's on Monday. I would just love to see that matchup, man. I think it's going to be great.
And also of note, Coach Gilbert, boy, tough time. You kind of feel for Alcorn State women's basketball team. They have had some close losses. Some people have asked me, is it time to move in another direction? I can't say that. I would have to talk to Charles, but Charles did say there is plenty of frustration, with the women's basketball program. So I guess that's a tough situation to be in, Coach.
Right, but see, they got so many injuries, man. That's just like when they came to A&M, they didn't have a full squad. To me, unless you can put a full squad on the floor, that's the only way you can be truly evaluated, man. When you don't have some of the people that you were counting on, and it's because of injury, has nothing to do with coaching if your players are not available, and it's because of injury. Yeah.
Well, and,
Coach, you have to be patient, but
right
in today's society, we can forget that. There's no one's patient.
Well, that's why I like having you on the show, because you can give that, that coaching perspective, Willa Brown, the AD perspective from administration standpoint. Because I'll just be honest, I'm a fan as well, alum of Southern University, so it's kind of easy to miss or don't see the behind the scenes, the underlying issues, and that's why I like to bring them all out so we can have a discussion. Coach, on the men's side last week, what games you kind of can highlight for us?
Well, last week, Grambling beat Jackson 70-62. This was last Saturday, and then Bethune-Cookman beat Alabama State 79-68. Your Jaguars won a close one at Alcorn 71-70. Alabama A&M beat Florida A&M 73-61. And Texas Southern beat Prairie View 80-69. Arkansas Pine Bluff beat Mississippi Valley 83-77. And then on Monday, Alabama A&M beat Bethune-Cookman 72-68. But it was a bittersweet. They won the game, but they lost their best, their leading scorer in that game, and I think he's going to probably be out for the year. Grambling beat Alcorn 78-67. Alabama State beat Florida A&M 62-53. Prairie View beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 75-74. And, of course, your Jaguars beat Jackson State 72-63. And then on the men's side, Southern, Grambling, Alabama State, they're right there, man. They're all bunched up there together. And then you got Texas Southern breathing down everybody's neck. So on the men's side, those are your top four teams, and it's going to be a interesting week coming up. And then in today's matchups on the men's side, Texas Southern is going down to Tallahassee, and we're going to see how that's going to work out. And so that puts PV at Bethune-Cookman, and then the Bulldogs are down in Baton Rouge at Southern. Jackson State are going to Mississippi Valley, and in that game now, George Ivory, they haven't won a game, but I guarantee you Jackson State is not – that's not going to be a cakewalk now.
Yeah.
Georgia had them ready to play down there.
Yeah.
And then Alabama State is at Grambling, and, of course, Alcorn's at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Game of the year, some are saying on the women's side. I guess you agree. UAPB and Jackson State.
Yep.
Coach, who wins Monday night? I told you who I think is going to win.
I just think I don't know. I'm still going to think that Jackson State is going to go in there with a mindset that, we need this game more than you, and we're going to win it.
So you got Jackson State. My only advice to Coach Reed, I don't think you want to get down by 17 at the half.
Oh, no. You're going to come back and get Pine Bluff now. Not there.
Right. Jackson State on a 9-game winning streak, 9-0 in the standings. Pine Bluff second. Grambling State third, 6-3. Alabama and Prairie View and Southern all 5-4. On the men's side, we've kind of talked about it. Southern, Grambling State 7-2 in conference. Alabama State, Texas Southern, Pine Bluff, and Bethune-Cookman are closing up. We have about 2 minutes left, Coach Pettaway, and it's been an interesting show. We've had Coach Doyle, Southern Women's Bowling coach, and Jalen Rogers also joining us. Also, of course, you, Coach Pettaway, Coach Graves. We're going to have some other guests coming on next week. But this basketball season, it is going to be tremendous. And then maybe next week we'll have time maybe to get your top 5 in the NBA, because there's still some stories. A trade deadline has come and passed. And I'm trying to book a flight to Miami. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. And here's the thing. I was talking to a coworker. It seems like Miami maybe in the mindset, well, we could turn it on when playoffs come. No, you can't do that. One time you go to turn that switch on, it's not going to come on. The light bulb is out. But anyway, we'll get your comments on that. In closing, Coach Pettaway, about today's show.
Well, I really like it. I am so impressed with Coach Graves, and I just think the Jaguar Nation need to get behind this guy. I think he's a good fit. I like the way he handles his players, and I'm looking forward to the season.
Yes, sir. I saw somebody in the comments saying it's February, and I'm fired up. Want to thank Melody, our producer. She was back with us this week. We appreciate her so much. Behind the scenes, you just don't know some of the things that go on, and then trying to keep me in check. That's a tough job. But so we appreciate you, Melody. Roy, all of our colleagues at the Black College Sports Network, all the shows, like, subscribe, hit that notice button. We appreciate that. Keep the conversation going on in the chat room. We appreciate you all as well. To all of our guests, for Coach Pettaway, Charles Edmond, A.D. Wheeler Brown, we appreciate you. Make sure you tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Coach Pettaway, we don't have to see that chant from Charles Edmonds this week.
So, no, I do it for Charles. I do it for Charles. No. He's at work. He's at work, man.
Peace and God bless. Oh, no.
All right.